Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Let's get started. One of my favorite bands of all time is Led Zeppelin. And of course, that means that one of my favorite drummers of all time is John Bohnham. Today, we're going to be recreating my favorite John Bohnham groove, and it happens in the last verse of what, in my opinion, is the greatest song of all time, arguably, Stairway to Heaven. It's after the guitar solo, and it's after we really kick into the whole rocking mood. It was one of the first more complicated patterns that I learned how to play on the drum set, and it's just really stuck with me all these years later. So, here we are with the PO-32 tonic drum machine. We've still got the samples, or the sound patch from Vic Magnificus on here. We're just going to be using those same three sounds, the snare, the hi-hat, and the kick. They're just too good not to use. And this groove is going to use two patterns, by the way. So we jump in with our kick drum, make sure right mode is on. We're going to put one right here, and we're going to put one right here. We're making the basic We Will Rock You groove right here, just doom, doom, gat, doom, doom, gat. So we're going to do it twice, so we're going to go boom, boom, bat, and then another kick, boom, boom, bat, right there. So let's go to our snare drum now. And make sure, again, right mode is on. We're going to put that right on 2 and 4, or numbers 5 and 13. Pretty simple. Now let's jump over to our hi-hat. And, again, right mode. We're just going to fill in all the eighth notes. Let's listen. All right. Now we're going to move on to a second pattern. So, now we're going to go back to our hi-hat. I guess we're already on the hi-hat, so just make sure that that's where we are. We're going to fill in all those eighth notes again. The hi-hat is what keeps this pattern consistent because almost none of the kick drum or snare drum beats are going to be in the right spot for this part of the pattern. But the hi-hat stays consistent through the whole thing with just that. So let's go ahead and get our bass drum in there. So we're going to go to our bass drum sound. We're going to put it on beat 1. We want to go doom, dat, doom, right there on the one and of 4, or number 4 right there. Doom, dat, doom, right here, which is the and of 2. Doom, dat, doom, right here. On the E of 3, doom, dat, doom, right there, square on 4. So it should sound like this. And then we're going to go to our snare drum. And we're going to put right mode on. We're going to go doom, dat, right there on the and of 1. Doom, dat, right here on the E of 2. Doom, dat, doom. Square on beat 3. Then on the of 3, and then on the and of beat 4. And this is where the pattern really gets its shape and groove from. So let's listen. Oh, so good. So now let's go and chain our two patterns together and have a listen. So good. So simple yet effective. It drives the song forward. John Bohnham and the word drive just go together like this. Like, in my opinion, he's like the pushiest drummer in rock music out there. There's just so much power and force behind his playing. Now, we could end the video right here, but I thought it would be fun to bring in a little buddy for the tonic. So let me hook these guys up really quick. So what I want to do now is play the chords and the bass on the PO-20 arcade and see if we can kind of recreate the last verse a little bit. Now, you might think that, oh, we want to sync these together, but we don't. So how the chord feature works on the PO-20 is it plays the chord starting on the downbeat of each measure. So on the PO-20, we want to do one measure of A minor, one measure of G major, and then 2 measures of F. And unfortunately, the problem with that is that our first pattern here on the PO-32 is one measure long. We need the chord to shift halfway through that. We need to go A minor, G major, F, 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 F. So what we're gonna need to do is we're not gonna be able to sync these. Instead, we're gonna look at our tempo here. We're at 111, And we need to make this then 222. We need to have it exactly double time, and we're going to wind up pressing both of the play buttons at the same time to get this effect. So let's go ahead and get our chord set up. So I'm going to hold the chord button. I'm going to press button 9 for A minor, and then I'm going to press button 6 for G, and then button 5 twice for F. And we can see it says loop 4. So it's going to loop all 4 of those chords, and if we play and turn it up, we can hear A minor, G, F. So, very, very cool. I want the bass in there too, though, because we could just press play on both of them right now and it would go and it would be kind of neat, but I want the bass part in there too. So the bass, how it works, we don't have control over the note, it just follows the chord change. This is another reason we need to set the arcade twice as fast as the tonic. We've got 2 octaves we can pick from. I think it works better higher up. So we're going to go pattern 1 here, and we're actually just going to play this twice. So instead of going dun dun like that, remember we're twice as fast, so this is 1 pattern. As you can see, it plays through 1, 2, 3, 4. So hopefully that makes sense. It's because we're twice as fast, so everything is twice as fast on here. So then we're going to go to a second pattern. We're going to enter the second half of the groove, which is this pattern right here. And how it works is the bass will mimic the bass drum, but we can't have it all on 1 pattern on the arcade because we're twice as fast. So we're actually going to have to stretch this out over 2 patterns. So bear with me here. So we're going to go doom, gat, goom, gat, goom. So right there, and right there. So that's beat 1 of 1. We have the and of 2, and we have 1 of beat 4 here. And it's not going to play the right notes yet because we haven't changed it properly. So do gat goom, and now we're going to go to a third pattern. Sorry, we're going to put one on the and of this first note here. So I'm going to count it out. Doom, dat doom, dat doom, dat doom, dat doom, right here as well, and that's going to be it. So let's go ahead and chain these. That's on beat or count 1 of beat 3. So let's go ahead and go twice on the first one, and then once on the second one, once on the third one. Let's listen. We can actually go into the last pattern, the third pattern, and we can put one of those bass notes right here as well on beat 4. So now we'll go back and chain it. We want twice through on the first pattern, once on the second, once on the third. And I know technically the last bass note should be back up to a G, but unfortunately since it follows the chord change, we don't have that ability on here. So now on the tonic, we're going to make sure our patterns are chained. Once on our first pattern, once on our second pattern. Now let's hit play. There we go. Let's bring in the chords. I want to take it one step further. I want to copy our second pattern. So we're going to select it and then hold right pattern, and I'm going to copy it directly under, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the third pattern. I want to put a little more melody in here. Now we could go through and program, program Robert Plant's melody in there. I want to kind of leave it a little more open than that. I want to just go which is just a really beautiful melody that is in the song there played, I believe. I think Jimmy Page plays it, but I know John Paul Jones is all over that on the keys. So we actually are going to copy the first pattern into this slot down here as well, and we're actually going to copy it twice because we need 2 instances of it. So let's go to our first pattern. So we should have 4 patterns. The first one again, the second one, and the third one. So we're going to go to our first pattern. We're going to select this sound. We're going to put it on the first note and the second beat, first beat and second beat, sorry. We're going to make sure it's an A on both of them. Then we're going to go to the second pattern, which is just a copy of the first one again. We're going to put them in the same place, but we're going to turn this into a G on both of them. So let's chain these real quick and listen. Cool. Now we're going to go to the third pattern, and we're going to go da, da, right there. So beat 1, count 1, beat 2, the and of it, and then count 4, the first note there. Oh, I was trying to figure out what that noise was. It's just pouring outside. Sorry for the longer video, but this is super fun for me. I love Led Zeppelin. And we're going to tune these notes now. We're going to hold this first one. This is going to become an F. This is going to become an A. An A. This is going to become a C. So then we're going to move to the fourth pattern. We're going to put one right here on the and of 1, and then square on 3 and 4. Just like that. And this note is going to become an E. This note is going to become a D. This note is going to become a C. So now let's go ahead and chain these 4 patterns just like that. And let's have a listen. Both of them at the same time. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Let's bring the chords in. Can't you just hear Robert Plant singing over that? We can sidechain the chords a little bit. There we go. That was And She's Buying a Stairway to Heaven. Played really poorly. So that was super fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. If you did, go ahead and leave a like on the video. If not, you can leave a dislike too. That's okay, but you shouldn't leave dislikes on Led Zeppelin content, just saying. Either way, it's not going to hurt my feelings. Just make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, check out the links in the description down below. Some fun stuff down there. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. Bye.